voting on anything, right?
Dan's on too.
Okay.
Dan's gone too?
He's on.
He's on.
Oh, Dan's on. Hi, Dan. Oh, what about Mike?
Mike's on his way. I just talked to him 20 minutes ago.
Now I've got sound.
All right, I hear you, Dan. Well,
Let's give it a couple more minutes.
couple more minutes. Okay, we'll give it a couple more minutes. Everybody else, Brian, you ready? Call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice
liberty
for
and
all.
justice for all.
Okay. Dan Campion, are you here?
I am present.
He's present via Zoom. Bill Hopkins. Mike Kulat. Dennis Faber.
Here.
Ted is excused. Ron Gant.
Yes, here.
All right. Open meeting compliance.
Yes, it was posted on Friday at 12:28 PM.
All right. So we're going to do this workshop. If the residents have, this is a workshop, which is our first workshop. If the residents have any questions or whatnot, would you please just email me any questions so that we can get going with the board on this? I don't want to just ignore any of your comments or whatnot, but if you would please email me if you have any questions. And then I'll submit them to the board and we can go from there. So then we're going to start. Chris was kind enough to give us this lovely, a fun reading document. And being that it is the first day of our workshop, I wanted to go page by page. I know that you've read it, but I wanted to just go, and if there's a question, comment, anything, we'll just quickly go through each page. Is that okay?
No, I don't want to do that.
No? Ron, are you good with that?
Yep.
Dennis?
Yep.
And Dan?
Yes, I'm good with that.
All right, so we're going to be on page 1. We can go over the budget summary after when we're through with everything, but let's go on page 1 for estimated revenues. Is there any questions or comments on this first page? You want to keep moving until someone says something different, okay?
Okay, I have a question regarding revenues.
Okay, question
We have
regarding
a-
revenues.
Yes. We have a number of properties that we rent or lease. Is there any increase for this coming year of 2023 budgets for those properties to be increased?
No.
No. The answer was no. Go ahead, Chris.
Talking about
The farm-
land lease that the farm had.
The building next door, yeah, no, never been discussed, so I've not asked for any increases.
Do we know when the last time there was an increase on these buildings?
Not in my tenure.
No, there hasn't been. Okay, we're talking about next door and then
And we got the farmland on 84th.
on 84th Street, 83rd Street.
Farmland right behind us here.
CCLRD.
Good question.
CCLRD building, but it's sewer plant.
Well, double that for sure.
Yeah, let's raise that.
Why
We have the
don't,
property out at, off of Highway C,
That's what
it's,
they,
Meadowwoods.
Rogers. does that.
Farmland.
Woodhaven Meadows, east of 83.
Right on the Bristol border.
oh, the 5 acres,
60.
60 acres. I'm thinking of the 5 acres for farmland. I mean, for parkland.
We just started collecting rent on that, didn't we? We were gonna let that slip for a while, didn't we?
No,
Mm-mm, No.
Yes, that's it.
What are we getting per acre over there now?
It's 15.
It's not.
We just charge the taxes, don't we? Don't we just
We
really?
don't pay taxes, but, yeah, I thought it was.
It goes, there's a calculation for it, it goes by the number of acres. Tillable, I mean, there's
Yeah.
an actual formula, and I'm not sure,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
you know, when it comes from.
And they're farming that right now.
Yeah, the guy next door is.
And I know that, does Joe Meyer still farm the 83rd Street?
Meyer Farms, yes, right?
Oh, yeah.
The park,
Yep, Meyer.
And that hasn't gone up.
I believe the Fred Brown does this one.
I think we should look at that.
What are they paying for?
Go ahead, Dan.
No, I think we should look at it. We may have some agreements in place that prohibits us from increasing anything this coming year in 2023. But that should be part of our discussions of any budget year.
Why would we not be able to do anything for 2023?
Well, if we have a lease agreement or a rental agreement with any of those properties that extend beyond 2023,
Oh,
we may not be able to do any increasing. But we need to look into it and see if there is, because the bottom line is we're going to have to raise something in order to cover other expenses that we're seeing.
But has there ever been a written agreement with the renters?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yep. There's an actual lease agreement for the farm. I know there's a calculation, but I can get that to you.
Yeah,
next
I
day or two.
probably have some.
let's look at it to see if it's fair and equitable. That's all. That's all we need to do.
That's not a big deal. We can pull it right out of it. I just don't have my computer.
Right. Don't worry about that tonight, but let's look at that. That's a good thought. We got what, 4 properties? 1, 2,
Yeah, I'll get them.
3, 4.
Very cheap, my computer. actually.
Okay. All right. All right, moving on to page 2. We'll look at that and then you can let us know and then we can adjust if we need to. Page 2, we're still on revenues, of course. Park rentals, golf permits. Oh, that's just booming over there. Yeah, I like that $50 chicken permit stuff.
Like the produce stand?
Yeah.
Is the same guy renewing every year?
The produce stand, we took one in the
Yeah,
entire
yeah,
time.
yeah.
They didn't renew.
How
Bye, Brian.
about golf cart permits?
You like that?
Sure.
All right.
What, 12, Mike? We've done this year?
We've gotten in 400.
Oh, 450,
Yeah, so 9.
79. That was a lot of fun.
Okay, anything else on page 2?
Well, I just noticed that the fire service with Paddock Lake is just down a couple bucks. But their value is going to increase substantially here. But in the way our formula
Right,
works.
our formula works off the different, I think it was 259.
Our formula is based on their equalized value and our equalized value.
Right.
And they were at 16% already. So then we just I did the worksheet they sent me.
which is, I think it was 259.
Yeah, it was 259. Now it's 257. I don't know why it'd go down, even though it's only a couple of bucks, but with the duck pond development and with the,
But that won't be.
But it takes,
that, yeah, it's not, it's such no, yeah,
Right, it'll take a year, at least a year to come up.
right.
Mike, do you want to tell them about property? Or just the surplus, Wisconsin surplus?
So I think I mentioned.
Bill, you should-
Bill and I, or someone had a conversation, you know, I watched it. I'd asked the board about Wisconsin municipal surplus for selling these properties and everything's tough right now. Nobody's buying, nobody's selling. Wisconsin municipal surplus, the cost is way down. You see land up north where a couple of them are just a little bit, you know, we're not. A year ago, they were going for top dollar. So I'm not sure that a small parcel as valuable as we believe some of these are,
Some of the bigger ones,
it would be wise to go for
a realtor?
surplus. So we might want to look into a realtor for selling those. I've been watching kind of why I'm hesitant over the last couple of months because you watch those prices just go down, and nobody's bidding on them. I think we might want to look at a different thought of selling that property versus Wisconsin surplus.
Okay, I wanted
Do
to,
we currently have the one on 83 listed with them?
We do not.
no,
We never.
We don't have anything listed.
no, we have nothing.
Even for the last 6 months, it was like since probably about June, May, June, their costs, even throughout the whole state, you know, people list these properties, they just seem to be going down, not up. And we believe, you know, that property is pretty valuable property. You know, it's sewer, it's right on 83. I believe Mike is going to reach out to the one property owner on the Camp Lake parcel. See if they're interested in that pie. We talked about the square off that property.
Mhm.
That's the only thing really holding that one up. And then get that one out there.
And the others.
But we've been kicking a can't,
Community park, that one parcel.
The community park on 93rd Street. I have that information. I have offers from the 93rd Street parcel. The Parks Board had voted that, you know, they were fine with selling it. I have that little pie in Silver Lake.
Yeah.
3,500. It wasn't much.
Yeah.
I have signed letters from the neighbors of both of those parcels, but they're not interested except for the one guy. And the one on 89th Street on the east of town, we sent seven or eight abutting property owners letters. I heard from one property owner that was interested. I met with another property owner that had some questions, but they weren't interested in purchasing it. So that I would be, I might have sent it to the board, if not, I'll combine them and send them all to you again. That was one of the questions. I'm not sure if it was Bill or Ted.
Yeah.
They wanted to know from the surrounding property owners if they were interested or not. So,
Just wanted you guys to be aware. Page 3. Still in revenues. I had questioned Chris about Pumpkin Days and it doesn't hurt to leave it in there. We have nothing there for it.
So we're guesstimating on miscellaneous revenue, 12,000.
Mhm.
What are we guessing we're gonna get coming in at 12,000 when?
we're using, it's forfeited road bonds and.
Oh, okay.
Anticipating moving highway revenues. And shit.
All right, thank you.
Anything else on page 3? Page 4. Questions on page 4?
Let's go to the legal aspect of this, okay? So when something submitted to the lawyer to write any ordinance or anything up, okay?
Mhm.
I mean, is this 25,000? Is this the fee that is a basic charge, or how's this work?
That's an hourly rate depending upon what we ask.
Okay,
Yeah, depending upon what he does for us.
Okay.
An hourly rate. I forget what the rate
so basically that, it comes in about 25,000 then,
is.
basically?
That's the
Okay,
average.
all right,
Depends on what we got going on.
right.
Yeah, but
How
it's
many
not,
times you call them?
the question is,
It's not a set fee,
for the
yes,
year.
yes.
Right. It's not, yeah, it's hourly.
Mhm.
Anything else for page 4?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
Regarding the assessor, have we already received Rocco Vito's pricing for 2023?
Yeah, this is based on his.
Yes,
But the price, the cost is from him. It's not an estimate from us, correct?
Right.
Right.
From him. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
surely. Page 5.
Can I back up just a, and that does include a reassessment in 2023.
2023.
Yep. Yep. Darn it. Hmm.
I can send you all his.
No, don't need it.
I'm
It is what
okay.
it is.
All right, anything else for 5?
Yeah, I got a question.
Yes,
Where are we putting the funds for any more land buyouts along the river?
That is listed under,
That was in the stormwater.
Yep.
That's in the what?
stormwater fund.
All right, I'll wait till we get there then.
Okay, and we discussed where it was.
and Central State's pension obligation, yay. That forever, or- okay. Page 6. Insurance didn't go up too much, we're lucky this year?
Bar.
Okay, elections, and now you're having, we're purchasing more
We did purchase more. It was 28,000. I don't remember.
For-
Hundreds of dollars. But we do have the 6 machines. That's what all the boxes are for back there.
Yep.
So they came and serviced them. They're working great. We're gonna test them on the 1st.
Thank goodness, huh? Can't wait till this is over.
And the commercials.
That's the only reason. All right, page 7. Stop me if you need to.
Oh, looks pretty.
All right,
uh,
page 8. Oh, and by the way, Ted did email Mike and said that he was okay with the budget as presented, just to let you know. All right, page 9.
Is there anything in particular that's driving our street lighting up so much?
The reason is converting them to LED. We had, we've been in communication throughout the year with We Energies. The cost of front to replace those, cost. Electricity saving, it was a 4 or 5 year turnaround.
Yeah, we had the same thing at the library. We put the LED lights. Okay.
You know, it's just the initial cost up front. You can see that broken down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look what Bristol just bought. Bristol seniors. Okay, number 10, page 10. And that's the end of that. Are we doing any Santa Comes to Salem this year?
We've got that.
I see that. Are we going to do it?
To the best of my knowledge, we're doing it, right?
We're going to do,
Pumpkin Days.
we weren't gonna do the East, for the Easter, we weren't gonna do inside activity, just the Easter, but yes, Santa is.
Just one thing, if you have to find Santa.
Yes, we talked about.
Okay.
All right. Anything on 10, guys? Okay, let's move it on to some more revenues on page 11. Impact Parks.
The 4 piers, what lake is that going on?
Oh. Rock Lake. Center Lake,
Like some-
I think, Bill, I have to go back and look, I think it was Rock Lake, Center Lake, Hooker Lake. I'm not sure about the fourth.
Okay,
I thought we were putting 2 on Center Lake.
2 on Center or 2 on Rock?
I thought it was 2 on Center.
Okay.
The new canoe, or yeah, I thought it was 2 on
Okay.
Center.
You're not putting one on Hooker. You're not putting,
Just discussing one,
Yeah.
budget for, obviously.
I don't know where you would put one, but
We're talking about by the launch area,
on the east side,
Lisa.
yeah, that would be nice. Okay,
I know we've talked about the Lake Shangri-La boat launch. Is that still with our vacant lot that's over there?
Is it still what?
Is that still with our vacant lot we have over there?
Is what
The
still?
boat launch on Lake Shangri-La?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, we just need to get some board approval and then we can start bidding it out. I think I sent you all the estimates, which obviously from 2 years ago, which are really low. If you want to proceed on that, I'm not sure if it's been discussed at the Parks Commission.
I don't know if it has or not, but probably not. Okay.
We can start that process too, so there's, when we go over the budget, now it's right out there. We change a lot, whole lot on the parks.
Okay. no.
And even as well as that, even with the Rock Lake boat launch that's in there now, I mean, wasn't there some grant somewhere that we're gonna
There are
apply for?
That
And,
is correct. yeah.
and as far as the parking and all that, for that?
There are grants available even.
Well, Mountain Shower is at a fire lake, so is that what I'm thinking of on Rock Lake there?
Rock Lake, yeah, it's a fire limit. It's, we did the boat launch, the board approved, and we put in the upgraded, just gravel launch. But there are some grants available to put in the concrete and the parking and paving and to do that for access to Rock Lake. And then, trustee Gannon brought up with me last year in regards to we have a 120, 140 by 80, whatever lot in Shaver lot that we currently lease to the association.
Yeah.
That, and there is no boat launch on the Salem side of Lake Shangri-La. There's no launch on Lake Shangri-La, period, that has parking. So I believe we looked at it, we had Ari Smith draw up. I think we're gonna get 3 parking stalls and a handicap, I believe is how that. But I'll get that out when this comes up on the agenda, I'll get it to the park board.
okay. Page 12. Halfway. Anything on 12? All right, 13. Fourteen. All right, 15. Just so the audience knows that, you know, this is, we've had this in our possession for a couple of weeks. That's why I'm going through page by page. However, not line by line because we've already done that. I just wanted that clear. Okay.
You're fast.
Yeah, we're flat. We just know what we're know. Yeah, I mean, it might seem like that to someone, but I want to make sure that's clear. So we're on 15. And on 15, we'll go to 16.
I just wanted to mention too, there's footnotes that are showing up on here. And I also have printed out footnotes.
Yeah, it was very nice. It was very nice actually having these footnotes. I like that. Thank you.
This document, but this you can see.
Yeah, it's very nice.
On 60,
Of the board, I noticed that the tender will be ready November 4th. Tender refurbishment and ambulances will be in 23, likely after the first year, at least one of them.
One.
no, I see, you got power load for two new, power load for 2 new ambulances. Didn't we just approve something last month for 2 power loads?
Yes, that's from the flex grant.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, 17. Anything on 17? Right. Still on revenues on 18. Page 19. We have to get that out to our residents too about the garbage.
Yeah, I just was talking with Nate from John's, he's working on the flyer, start sending stuff out.
Yeah, we need, that's because,
I'm gonna include it with the tax bill too.
yeah, please, because, and I hope they read it because
What page are you on?
I'm on page 19.
I got a question for you. The wireless communications,
Mhm.
we're going from 8,500 to 85,000.
Oops,
Well, on you, Joe.
It's third from the bottom page.
birds from the
Oh,
bottom.
you're coming up, okay.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, that's definitely an oops.
That's a new,
It is.
Without a doubt, so yeah.
591% increase.
Easy.
Small one.
Easy does it.
good catch there. They didn't add it in there, so I think we're safe that way, but all right, page 20. Okay, you have Time Warner, I mean, not Spectrum?
Same spectrum.
Spectrum, because they don't call it Time Warner anymore, do they? I just was curious because I don't care if I'm on camera, Spectrum sucks. It really
Tell
does.
us what you really think.
It just does. How many times you got to reprogram? It's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
With our,
Ridiculous.
put online, I know Brian's worked very, very hard to go back through previous budgets, that number was extremely high.
Mhm.
We only have a couple of buildings that we need to use it for the internet, other than that. We don't use it most.
Yeah, I see that.
Buildings with all antenna.
Yep.
If, you know, just to try to cut those costs, if that's what you.
Do we have a plan to move over to the fiber optics on those remaining buildings?
We don't, because when the plan was put through, it was only ran from the sewer plant to the highway fire building to here, for our own dark fiber. So, but other than that, we've not had any plans, because that was 300 or whatever it was. We don't have plans to extend it anywhere else.
Okay.
What are we doing in the legal Valmar and Yaws? What are we doing over, what is that for, the five?
That is the grinder pumps and the cans done in 80, I believe. So we're in the process of, matter of fact, Thursday, we have a 90% construction meeting. We have it in the budget. We plan to bid it in the winter. But we believe with the cost, we're gonna ask the board to delay that project for a year or two. It's just the, right now, we probably have 6 to 8 calls a week for grinder pumps, grinder motors. It's an old system, so that'll get rid of all those and put it on a gravity system with, I think it was 4 lift stations. We're working with the county to get some dedicated lots to put on those lift stations.
Okay,
But it's in the budget off of the 2021 estimated numbers.
okay.
I believe the current construction costs are going to delay that project, just due to cost.
All right, 21, page 21.
Is that why we're seeing, Mike, then an increase in maintenance on the lift stations?
Correct.
Okay.
Can't believe we pay such bank fees.
The bank fees, what's the like?
Which will,
We're trying to.
when the
trying to
board,
limit
right, when the board approved our new system, I think the name of it,
invoice.
Invoice Cloud, that'll eliminate a lot of those bank fees for.
We think there's gonna be an increase in online and automatic.
Well,
Under.
utilities, page 22.
Like how many years on the Central States?
Huh.
I have to look, I think we're in 38. 80.
Yeah, it's like, it's about half.
Yeah, we're a little, yeah, right about that.
I know, eh? God. All right, page 23.
So this is stormwater, and Bill, to answer your question on that floodplain buyout,
Yeah,
there was nothing budgeted, and there's nothing showing up in the budget because we haven't paid out any portion of it since before 2021.
do we have any properties still waiting?
This is out through the county, they notify us that they're gonna have it.
And I know that there's 2 that are currently being reviewed.
Yeah, but I thought now that we're a village over 5,000, our cost share of that buyout went up.
It did, so if you're a town, it's a 75. It's 12.5 state and 12.5 county. Once you become a village, I believe that's 7.5 or whatever that becomes ours. And instead of, it's a constant battle trying to get through FEMA and do that, so. We have the county just for, I think it's a 5 or 6% administration cost, and they handle the program and send us the paperwork and we come to the board for approval. I think there's 2 right now that are currently in talks with the buyout program.
Are those the ones on North Riverside?
And I know they're on the river, but I don't know the exact address.
Because we've got some buildings there that are just rat traps right now. I don't think anyone's living there. And I'm just curious, what are we gonna do with
I know
those?
that at Shorewood and Riverside, there's 2 that the county that I'm constantly calling because they gotta need to turn them down because it looks like there's newer cars there, but
Oh, yeah.
owned by the county.
Okay,
The county just hasn't proceeded on that. So, and I think that there's one I'm currently reviewing, I believe you and I had a small discussion on South Riverside. Not sure what it was, but that one probably, but I'm not sure. Obviously, number one, FEMA's got to come up with the money. They got to make an offer. The owner has to be willing. They won't take any land unless the owner is willing. So it's a huge process. So if you decide you're in that and you want that, it's probably a 2-year process to get through everything in order for that buyout.
All right, thank you.
Okay, last page, and then I got a question to go back to. I forgot about my purchasing of services. I forgot of it. Anything on 24, guys? Go back to page 5, and I apologize because I know I had already written to you fellas about it. And then I didn't mention it. On page 5 for the purchasing of services, I think that it's just gotten out of hand. I'm just voicing my opinion. I don't think that we should just be giving everybody what they asked for. And I know we haven't always in the past, but I wasn't happy with what went down last month. We were at whatever we paid from the year before is what we were going for. And now we're up to 22. We were at 12 and now we're at 22.5. I just think there has to be some kind of different way of doing that. And does anyone agree or disagree? I know you said you agreed.
Well, for a long time, I didn't agree. I was not, because it's taxpayers' money. But since we changed that we're buying services, and I feel differently about it now. In fact, I seconded the motion to raise to the 15,000 that Ted made. And I'm okay with it.
Ron?
No matter what we do, everybody's gonna come in with their hand out. Okay,
That doesn't mean we have to.
it doesn't mean we have to, no, and I know the sure, they all do a great job for the whole.
And I'm not disputing that. I don't think that we would eliminate it, but I'm just wondering, I think that, well, I mean, I wasn't here. I had COVID, I admit, but I was surprised that everybody went with the 15.
We don't do a fair job at this because we've turned away folks from, I think it was Twin Lakes.
Yeah, Twin Lakes, and they have a great percentage.
Obviously, I had a conversation with President Tetzar today, and this is one of the few budget line items that we required to be in August. So the board fixed that number. You know, that's, staff has no involvement in what that number would be. So that is strictly entirely a board's decision on the purchase of services.
So basically, we have the sharing center, we have Bristol, okay?
Right.
And those are two big ones that come in.
The two big ones, the only ones that have been.
And I mean, do we give 10 grand to this one and 10 grand to that one and say?
No, and I don't think that's the case either, but.
So the key is that it has to be, and I know Richard talked about it before, it has to be specific to a purchase of service. Meaning that basically if this particular unit, whether it's a sharing center or the retirement, or whatever it is, if they're not providing that service, basically the village would have to provide it or look into providing some of those services. So that's the services we're purchasing. And that's what justifies the cost of using taxpayer dollars to do it.
But if we look at the other communities that are involved, for example, with the Bristol one, where the village of Bristol is only providing 1,500.
To each organization that like we do.
But my point being, we may have 50% of the folks, the residents who use the Bristol site. If Bristol is only anteing up 1,500, why wouldn't we do similar in a dollar value?
Well,
Or do we try, and I hate to use the word force, but do we try to move the Salem Lakes residents to the sharing center specifically and target that group for our purchase services?
I mean, it's two different. Right.
yeah, I'd like to interject something that was told to us, as you may recall, that the Bristol does more for them in services like cutting down a tree and doing their garden.
That's true.
Or whatever, and the number of other things that they do that would offset it. So it's not cash. It's only 1,500. I agree that isn't very much. We do have half of the people there that come from the village of Salem Lake. And, but it's not just 1,500. I mean, it might only be 2,500, but it's still, we're substantially more. But again, they're two entirely different types of.
Correct.
One
Yeah, we
is
offer two different types of service.
correct.
And Bill's aware. The fact is that in my opinion, I think it's gotten out of hand. I remember the first time, and then I know Dan knows this well because they came to him also. They wanted a dishwasher. Well, that was pretty reasonable. We bought them a dishwasher. And then,
Copy machine.
an
They wanted-
additional,
We spent,
but it was a dishwasher originally. And then it just, now we're up to $7,000 and
well, I'm afraid of it getting out of hand myself. I'd like to put a limit on it, maybe of 25,000.
And I have nothing against the sharing center, nothing at all. I think they're wonderful. But they asked for 12. We've been giving them 12, which is a lot. And then right away, we went up to 15. I just this is my point. I think that we need to look at it some way.
Well, I know the one thing I think I would like to ask is, a budget number is a budget number. But if we budget 25,000 in that line item,
They'll spend it.
number one, it doesn't mean you have to spend 25,000. That's what we're estimating. And then, again, 2 years ago, we'd asked the board, to ask to get those requests in by August.
Right.
So the board would know what those numbers are.
And that's why Bristol didn't get anything in last year. So they did not receive anything the year before. And they were good about it because they knew the rule.
Standpoint, nobody, we believe that all these businesses or whatever you call them, the sharing center or Bristol, I'm sure Twin Lakes does. They're a great valuable resource for our residents. I think the other communities should also, but if you look at our equalized assessed value and we start doing figures and doing all that, 15,000 people versus 5, the whole math. But again, this is one that staff has no, that's why we don't come to you with, and say, hey, we need this. We ask for all the applications to be in for the board of review, and then that's what we put in the budget for budget.
Again, I'd like to say that I'm not that concerned about the level of funds we're purchasing at today. I don't want to see it get out of hand, as you mentioned. I think we were very reasonable for a number of years with a village that's worth 1,600,000,000.
I understand that.
I know, okay. And our mill rate is only $3, or proposed $3.23. Bristol's, if I'm not mistaken, is $4 and something. Paddock Lake is $6 and something. City of Kenosha is over $11 per thousand.
So you're suggesting because we manage money better than those other communities,
We can afford $22,000.
I disagree with that rationale.
I disagree with that rationale 100%. And Dennis, I don't know. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm not knocking you for your opinion. However, I think that it just needs to be curbed. I think everybody, I don't know who's going to be here next year when we review this. I don't know, but
You recall when we used to give the grade school $500 for a Halloween party.
Yes.
And that, at that time, now it's only $500, but I felt we were going in the wrong direction there. We were giving anybody with their hand out cash, okay? I like this much better. We've worked with our attorney. We're legitimately buying services. We have 16,000 population. We have better than half of the people at Bristol come from our community. But there are people that come there that are from Antioch. Same with the sharing center.
Just doesn't mean that because we have it, we're doing well, we're doing. I would like that the board look at it next year when we do it. Then if you don't want to lower it to 15.
What was the percentage of people that use it? It was pretty high, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's high. It doesn't matter though. Yes, it doesn't matter. I mean, Everybody else, Twin Lakes, 1,500, Bristol, their own people, 1,500. Okay,
But we had a couple of people in the audience give the sharing.
yeah, that was very nice. Very nice. I cut it off after you guys gave them 15. Go ahead.
I personally don't care what their town A does or what town B.
Okay,
I think we need to look at what this village gets out of it. But right now is the time we need to discuss this. As last year, we set the budget for this year, and this is what we gave. But this is the time we need to talk about this. But personally, I think we should look at all the entities that may need funds from us
mhm,
and then appropriate them proportionally. And I know Sharon does a great job of giving us a rundown. I forget the lady's name from Bristol, but she gives us,
oh, not denying it.
I'm thinking, I'm going outside here. If you go south here, you go down to Antioch, and you look at what they spend on their senior services between the village and the township, it's astronomical. And they spend it. I mean, it's part of their budget, is what they do. We don't have those kinds of numbers, but their population isn't that much different than ours. We're almost mirrors of each other when you look at them. I really think we need to maybe have a meeting with all the people that need funds and, okay, how much do you think you're going to need? What are you going to look for? And what are we going to get? What do we get? How does it affect us? What is our benefit of doing it? A cost benefit analysis. And I'm not for just keep writing checks to them, but I think since I've been around, I think both of these, the ones we do give to, provide very valuable services for our residents. And obviously, people come elsewhere to use it,
Mhm,
but nothing saying people from here can't.
we're not denying that.
To the places over there and get assistance too. But unfortunately, there's anything outside of us. There's no county, state entity that does this for us.
Yeah, this has evolved over these years. As I said, we used to just give money. We didn't know really what the benefit was. Now we're mandating that they give us financial information,
Mhm,
a variety of different things. So that we do. I feel good in my mind that I'm spending our taxpayers' dollars well. When we did it the other way, I was always very uncomfortable just giving away taxpayers' money, and this was not appropriate, but
okay. I'm just putting it out there. I had to get my point across. I just hope that it gets looked at next year more closely. Do we want to
Excuse
go?
me, Madam
over-
President, may I make a comment on this subject?
Of course.
No, your time's over.
Go ahead, Dan.
These are two established entities that we have supported in the past, and I think that is no argument that we'll continue to support in the future as long as they do the services that we cannot do as a village. The question seems to always come up is how much? What is the dollar amount that we're going to be giving to them? And depends on how you want to look at it. If you want to divide it up based upon population, number of residents that use these services, how many are within the village of Salem Lakes, or how many they're out. I mean, it's always been a difficult one to do. I'm comfortable with the amount that we give to both of them based upon the presentation that each of us during the meeting that we approved. This is a very difficult time. We see it in the newspaper all the time. The people that are using these services have increased dramatically, tremendous amount of increase. Yes, maybe some don't live in the village, maybe most of them do, but I still think this is something that we keep our village going. And there's always that tier of people that are going to be struggling. And that's what we're going to help out to offer this for. We can't do it ourselves. Trustee Kulat mentioned it. Antioch, which isn't that
We lost you, Dan.
far off, well, with social services. How about now? Get me now?
I'm not denying it. I'm not. Yep, we got you. We got you.
Okay, it's a situation to answer. So I'm willing to listen to others on what would a better way of how much funds we put out there for tax services? I'm willing to listen. So if anyone has any ideas, please share them.
All right. Okay, moving on. What page do you want to go over now? Are we ready for the general? I mean, are we ready for the summary?
This is just the condensed through the snaps, this is all the general.
And this is just the footnotes,
You covered the budget.
right?
We just a little bit in there just for
And so
knowledge.
at this time, we're at $3.23.
That's estimated because of the assessed value. I don't have the
Right. Right. Assessed value at $1,679,289,900. Okay, anything else we have to go over?
No, I just-
So right now, we're just gonna look at those properties and rent and what we're gonna look at that. What else was it? Was there something else? This is easy.
And in the near future, once we find out that the person is interested in person.
Yeah.
Then we would like to, we'll probably have on the board, I don't know, if we'll probably write an RFP to go out for a realtor.
Okay,
Or how
good,
we can get that,
good.
you know, to thank all the staff, but I can tell you, we come here, we present a budget, we try to make it as clean as possible, so there's not a lot of confusion. It's pretty tough to drag, but the staff is a lot of time.
Oh, I,
We appreciate everyone. Brad's not here, David helped us, Brian, obviously, everyone, the Parks Department, everybody has a lot of time invested in this.
any other comments or questions?
Well, the only, you know what, our taxes, our mill rate is projected to go up 6 cents, 7 cents. Which again, I think is pretty good, but we've got that $75,000 snafu that we talked about earlier.
That'll go over that quite a bit,
More,
the 85,000.
that's in the utility district, though, that has nothing.
Right, that won't affect the general fund.
Good. Mike?
I just want to say, I wish the whole staff were here, but it's such a pleasure walking in. I mean, we get this way ahead of time. Thank you, Chris, very much.
Yes, thank you.
But I know the time that's involved with the whole staff putting it together. Unlike some days gone by when I was first on this board, we'd come in, go from this to this to this to this, and by the time we're done, I'm scratching my head going, where the hell are we at here? I mean, this is very, very cut and dry. Very simple.
It's simple enough for me to understand.
Even a dummy like me can get it.
You're not the only one.
It was like a Chinese fire drill for a long
Oh
time.
my
I'm
God.
telling you.
You remember Dennis, you were here.
Well, that's why we would have 3 and 4. I anticipate one more, which is next Monday at 6 o'clock. Everybody's gonna make it?
God willing, if we don't write it.
No, you're gonna be here.
So I'll be available.
Okay, perfect. Anything else, guys? All right, with that, motion,
Well, I do want to add one thing to this conversation is that
you're too late.
like Trustee Kulat mentioned part of it, and I think it's now seeing some of the fruition that we've done in the past. And the one that I could see in this budget is we bought into BSNA software,
Right,
and we're seeing those additional notes in order to explain what those expenditures or revenues are going to be. But overall, that BSNA software is making it more not as complex, but easy to communicate what's needed for it. So I have to say that our purchase software is now paying awesome dividends.
the girls are raving about it.
I agree with you, Danny, when you said, not that I'm intimate with it, but I do know the people that use it really like, and it interacts between all the departments. I know the few meetings I've been involved where it's come up, it's really nice. So that was a good move on our part whenever we did it.
You know, Twin Lakes wants to give up the library.
That's software stuff.
All right, for a motion to adjourn, please. One from Mr. Kulat. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Is that, okay, Mr. Gant? All in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Motion-
Aye.
All right, thanks, Dan. Take care, Dan. It sounds like you had a little bit of a cold.
Yeah, hopefully it's the tail end.
Okay, good. Well, and while I have you, Dan, don't hang up on Dan just yet. Huh?
Turn it off soon.